Welcome to the Drunkard's Path. Well, we're into September now, which means the kids are back to school, and it's going to get cooler, but right now this last few days have been just wicked hot around here, but that is soon to change. So that means it's time to get back in your sewing rooms and start stitching up, whether it's cross stitch or quilting or whatever you've got going these days. So in this video, we're going to show a few things that came into the shop. Oh, first of all, we have to announce our big winner, and that is Linda Fielding. She won the Lori Holt Tomato Pin Cushion Quilt Kit. She was very happy and excited when we contacted her, so congratulations, Linda, and everybody out there, keep an eye out for our next giveaway, which is coming up soon. And also in this video, I have a special guest, my friend Pat Moore. We're going to do a little segment. She's going to show you something that her son has created, but it's very clever, and it was a really fun segment to make. We also have the Sewcialites 2 Block 4 that will be added onto the end of the video, so if anybody wants to stay around and see techniques and maybe you're sewing along with us, that would be great. And also I want to mention that September 15th and 16th we're going to be out in Petrolia at the Petrolia IODE Quilt Show at Christchurch Anglican, so hopefully you'll stop by and say a big hi to us. We'd love to see you and answer any questions, or you can see, we have a bunch of new fabric coming in, which I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it's going to be here before the show, so we'll have a lot of new Halloween, Christmas, and just general fabric, so hope to see you there. Okay, recently into the shop we had a small order come in, and I just wanted to go over a couple of things, and the first one is the Lori Holt Scrappiness is Happiness book. Now this is again a really good value for your money because she shows several quilts, many quilts in here that you can use up your scraps with, so it's all scrappy. You can do one block wonder type quilts, or you can just mix it all up. I think on her website there was a quilt along with straight out of this book, so you might want to check into that. And we also have several quilting patterns. This one is Good Morning Mug, and this is also a Lori Holt. And we have Acorn Love, again a Lori Holt quilt. It's very cute. And the third one is Christmas Present Quilt by Primrose Cottage Quilts. So this is it's simple, but yet it looks really nice when it's all done. So if you've got some leftover Christmas fabric, or you've got maybe a fat quarter bundle, this would be a really good quilt to make up, and plenty of time for Christmas. We also have two cross stitch kits. This one is called Christmas Snowman Ornament, and this one's got all the floss and the little fabric and a needle. So you've got the whole kit here. And the pattern pumpkin number 4, again, all your floss and the fabric, needle, the whole thing is right in this little kit. So it's that one, like I have done one similar, and it's a little challenging, but it turns out very nice when it's all said and done. And now here's Pat and I. Today we have a special guest, my friend Pat Moore, who the two of us a couple of years ago at our guild decided we were going to do a kind of a quilt along, and called Inspired By, and each month I would give a powerful lady to the group, and
like a photo.
Yeah, a photo. Yeah, and we would make a block, a 10.5 inch block, and after we got all our blocks, Pat and I, we kind of brainstormed a little, and Pat came up with a really great layout for our blocks, and we put it all together. And
well, we worked on it together. The sashing I did, the cornerstones you did, and the arrangement we kind of brainstormed and came up with a few options and settled on one. And we were so fortunate that that quilt was accepted into the Houston Quilt Show. So, of course, we got to go, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're going in November.
We're going to go.
Yeah, we're very excited, and it was a great collaboration. We also had like several, like, I don't know how many, 16 blocks from the guild that they had made. So it was a collaboration between several ladies of the guild and Pat and I, and Pat, she made an amazing backing too. It's all a piece backing. So we'll insert some photos. Angeles will insert some photos, and you can see hopefully a prize-winning quilt. But if not, we don't care because we're going.
Well, this definitely was a group effort, no doubt. And like you were saying, about maybe 15 people or so participated in this. And what was really great is that the topic that you selected, with it being inspirational women. And what I found personally, and other people, said this to me too, was that they'd see the photo, right, that you supplied, and maybe the photo would be the basis for their original block, but often people would go in and try to understand more about that person.
Yeah.
Who they were, what they did, what their contribution was. And maybe from some of those other things of looking up online or whatnot, came up with something a little bit different, something that was new to them to learn about that individual. Like, for instance, the famous five, the suffragettes.
Yeah.
I grew up in Edmonton, and there was a park there called Emily Murphy Park. Well, I never really understood what Emily Murphy did as a young person growing up in Edmonton.
Yeah.
And then with looking up now from Famous Five, from you having selected them, I learned about Emily Murphy.
Yeah. I had some learning experiences throughout it too. Like, because there was such a list of women to narrow it down. So I learned a little something about each and every one of them.
And you really brought in the Canadian element too, which was really nice.
Yeah. Roberta Bondare. Yeah.
Exactly. Who was the first Canadian female astronaut. So that one, I think we had quite a few blocks. So in the quilt, there's really space-inspired blocks for Roberta Bondare.
Yeah.
And then there's international women as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Young
Malala.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Greta
older,
Thunberg. Yeah.
with RBG.
Mm-hmm.
So just a real nice variety, and there was a lot there to work with.
Yeah.
And encouraging people to make an original block, like that just fires up the creativity in people, that there really wasn't any rules to this other than the size.
Nope, exactly. It was just whatever struck your fancy at the time, and I think we have some really diverse blocks in there. And just recently we saw that our quilt is being used as the the advertisement for the show. And I'm sure there are other quilts that are being used, but we were just blown away that ours was chosen to be. It was just, we couldn't stop laughing.
Shelley told me, because I'm not really on social media much, so I didn't really know. Shelley emailed me to let me know, and I called her. I was just laughing. I couldn't believe it. Like, oh my goodness. This was all you're doing with wanting to get into the Houston Quilt Show. Like, set the bar high, for where we're going to start with this kind of group project.
Well done,
I
couldn't have done it without everybody else, and that's for sure. And it was a lot of fun. Let's say that it was a ton of fun.
Yeah. What do you got planned for next year?
No. I think that's a one and done, but it was good.
Yeah.
So anyway, today Pat is going to show you a little project that you could be interested in with cross stitch. So. Go ahead, Pat.
Okay.
Show us what
well,
you've got.
like, I know you always have different ways that you display the cross stitches, right? Your finished projects.
Yeah.
Well, my son, he's getting ready to go off to university. While he was off, he visited with my parents, and my mother is big into cross stitch, and he brought home some of her cross stitch patterns that she had completed.
Oh, nice.
And what he did is he bought this jean jacket at a thrift store.
Okay.
I think he paid like $5.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and in one day, I'm not kidding you, it was one day.
Yeah.
He put this together, where cut out the back of the jean jacket
Mm-hmm.
and displayed the cross stitch, in the opening.
Yeah.
And then did the ragging.
Yeah.
And he actually put some fusible on the back of the cross stitch.
Okay.
Just to kind of give it a little bit more rigidity, you know?
Yeah.
Because, I think it's not protected from the sun. This is going to get washed and dry, it will fade.
Yeah.
But it just needed a little bit more robustness to match the jean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then on the inside, he did a really nice job lining it with just a fat quarter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he just picked one that he liked out of my stash.
Yeah.
And once I okayed it.
Yeah. You can have that one.
Yeah, that one. This one's okay. It wasn't earmarked for anything. So,
Yeah.
so he used that, and I thought it turned out really good.
It was
So
very clever idea. Wow.
He's taking it with him. I don't know if he's going to give it away to a girlfriend or something, but it's something that he used his creativity, and he's done things like this before.
Perfect. Wow. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for sharing.
Sure. My pleasure. Maybe someone else will come up with another idea that they'd like to share.
Absolutely. And if you do, just email us, and you never know. You could be standing right here sharing your idea. Anyway, thank you very much, Pat.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me, Shelley.
Okay. And now here's Sewcialites 2, Block 4. Okay, welcome to Sewcialites 2 Quilt Along, and we are on Block 4, Flirty Block by Chelsea Stratton. And look at this. Block skill level is beginner, so yay. Let's see if how quickly we can do this block. I'll probably mess this one up because it's easy, but it's actually, you just kind of do the same thing over and over again. I am using, I don't know, trying to get it on camera. I'm using, actually I can do this, triangles on a roll. So I'm going to get 2 out of it, so you're thinking, oh, maybe that's a bit of waste. No, not really. I'll use the other half, maybe on the back of the quilt or something. But as it shows in the diagram, it actually tells you to discard it. So I'm actually kind of saving a little here. So these are 2-inch finished triangles on a roll. And I like this much better because I'm just going to cut right on those lines and down the solid line and flip it. And I'm going to have a perfect triangle. So I will show you one, and then I'll do the other ones off camera, and then we'll piece it together. Let's start with the first triangle. I have my stitch length set at 1.6 because when you cut it, or you're sewing on the dashed line, you want that a tight stitch, so when you rip the papers off, it'll come off real easy and it won't unravel your stitches. So let's start the first one. And all we're going to do is follow along on the dashed line. Super simple. And continue following. And then we go back. Okay, take pins out. Now I'm going to trim it up on the solid lines. So first thing, I'm going to go trim around. Now I'm going to trim on this line, and I will have two half square triangles. One I'll save for later. This one, I will take the paper off, so I just fold back, rip it, and that's garbage. So I'm gonna first I'm gonna iron it open like that, and then I'm going to trim off the dog ears. Trim. And now I'm going to iron this open. And it'll lay nice and flat. And there's our first one. Now I'm going to do that 5 more times. And we'll be back. Okay, now we're on to this step. We're going to assemble the block. And then sew rows 1, 2, and 3 together. Okay, now I've set my my little half square triangles to match what it says on the pattern. There is no right and wrong way for whatever fabrics you use, but get the orientation right of the half square triangle. Oh, just one little note: when you're ironing your half square triangles, remember don't iron hard or anything, because you did sew on the bias. It's going to be it's easy to manipulate the fabric, so just press it down and you'll get a nice block. And I ironed opened on each one of them. Okay, so let's sew them together. I'm going to start at the top. Okay, so let's sew row 1. Needle down and okay, I'm going to chain piece all the way down. So if you want to pin these, go ahead and pin them. Just however you can keep your 1/4 inch, whatever works for you. I'm going to snip them apart, but keep them in order. Okay, back up. Okay. Open. Now I'm going to grab the block from row 1, and we'll sew this one all the way down. Number 2 and lay it out. And the 3rd one. I'm going to snip these apart. That's what we have so far. Now we're going to iron opposite from the, it does tell you the top row you're going to iron out, the middle row in and out, so you get them to nest and it'll look really good when you're done. So I'm going to iron these and be right back. Now I've got them all ironed. Now I'm going to attach row 1 to row 2 and so on. So flip it over. This part I will pin. Okay. And then I go to the top. And then get the middle. You can feel the nesting with your finger. Okay. So these ones together. Look, oh, so far so good. And I'm going to iron this first. Okay, let's pin row 3 to row 2. Oopsie. Get back under there. Okay, have a quick check. Looks good. I'm going to iron it and show you the finished block. Here we have the completed block. And on to block 5. And as always, thank you so much for your patronage, and keep sewing, keep stitching.